What's up, farmer family? How y'all doing today? Today, we're checking out 11SIX24's Hurache-X Control. This is a 16 millimeter paddle. It's their own design. It has an elongated handle to it. I have a code for them for 10% off. It's FarmerPB. If you use that at checkout, I will get a kickback. You'll also get 10% off from that. I'm going to go through the twist weight, the swing weight. I've got RPM test. And I've tested, I think, 6 paddles total now, or 5. And I'm going to put them all on there so you can see how they compare to the Mach 2 Forza, the Adidas Metal Bone, and paddles like that. But yeah, let's get into this review, y'all. The surface of this paddle has 2 raw Terray T700 carbon fiber layers and 1 fiberglass layer. It's foamed edge walled, it is thermoformed, and it is also unibody. The average weight varies from 8 ounces to 8.3 ounces. The total length is 16.5 inches, which classifies this as an elongated paddle. The width is 7.5 inches. The grip circumference is 4.125 inches. The grip length is 6 inches, and the thickness is 16 millimeter. The first thing we're going to talk about is the pop. Okay, in terms of pop, I don't think this is a crazy poppy paddle by any standards. Even with the face, with the layer of fiberglass and 2 raw carbon fiber faces, I don't think that it has any more pop than some of the previous Gen 2 paddles that I've played with. I would honestly put this maybe a little bit stiffer than the Volair Mach 1 Forza, but it's not quite as stiff as the double black diamond is, you know, in the face. So in terms of pop, I would put it in between those two. Now, when it comes to the power, this is what really surprised me. With the swing weight the way it is, you wouldn't think that it would get a crazy amount of power, but this is definitely a power paddle in my opinion. I don't think it's as strong as the Carbon 1X or the Viva Pro 2, but I would probably put it right down below them in terms of power. This is called the Hurache-X Control. This is more like the Hurache-X leaning towards power. But yeah, I would definitely consider this more of a power paddle. Especially when you're able to get your 2 hands on it and do a backhand, you can put some zing on that sucker. A lot of it. So when it comes to the control, I would still, just like I did with the pop, I would put this between the Volair Mach 1 Forza and the double black diamond. The double black diamond takes a little more effort when you're trying to do your backhand dinks, your drops, and stuff like that. You have to really focus a little bit more. Versus the Volair, 1 Mach Forza will be a little more plush and easier to do drops and dinks with. And this one is right in between those two. You're not going to have as difficult time as you did with the double black diamond, but it's not going to be as easy as the Volair Mach 1 Forza in terms of control. When it comes to the spin, my RPM tests were 1827. So I would say this one is definitely a really, really good spin paddle. But it's not going to have the spin that the Volair Mach 2 Forza has, like at all. But it does have a lot more than the Adidas Metal Bone. I'm going to put a list of the paddles that I've, did the spin numbers for, and you can see sort of where this one ranks among them. But if you're looking for spin, you're not going to complain when you get this paddle. You're going to get enough spin. The swing weight of this paddle is 116. Okay, for it to be an elongated 16.5 inch paddle, it swings more like a hybrid shape, like in terms of, swingability, not the power. I've already talked about the power, but in terms of swing weight, it is more along the hybrid shape. I really like what they did with the shape of this paddle, and it seemed to affect the overall swing weight. Because if you look at the swing weights of most of the elongated paddles, they're over 120 or at least really close. And with this being at 116, what they did clearly worked. And for the overall weight is 8.1 ounces. Like I always say though, the 8.1 ounces doesn't really matter as much as the swing weight because you swinging it and you getting a lighter paddle to be able to swing is going to be more valuable than just 0.2 ounces difference in the overall weight of a paddle. In terms of the twist weight is 6.32. Now, if you look at some of the other elongated shapes, this one, if you compare it to them, would be in the higher tier for elongated paddles. But it would be in the middle to low tier if you compared it to hybrid shapes. That is a crazy good place for this elongated paddle to be. Like, it is in between the hybrid and elongated in terms of twist weights, in my opinion. And the same way with the swing weight. Like, the way they engineered this paddle was top notch for sure. And then when it comes to the sweet spot, you're not going to notice it being dead, anywhere near the middle. Obviously, if you hit it near the edges, you're going to have some problems, but that's with literally any paddle. So the sweet spot is not lacking at all. Not like you would expect from, other elongated paddles. When it comes to the value for your money, this is a $140 paddle. Let's go over, I guess, the pros and the cons. The pros, it gets a lot of power for the lowest swing weight. Like, it's an elongated paddle with a 1/16 swing weight. It has a 6.32 twist weight. It has a fiberglass and 2 layers of raw carbon fiber. Those are all 3 really good positives, and it gets good spin, 1827. But the only con I could think of is if you were someone who doesn't use 2-hand backhands, and you would maybe want a little more paddle face than the handle. But if you like 2-hand backhands, or if you like just gripping down at the bottom of the handle and just slapping the ball like really, really hard, this paddle's for you. But if you have, weaker wrist and you need a shorter handle, there's other options out there. But yeah, I could probably recommend this to like 85% of pickleball players, and I feel like most of them would be able to utilize this paddle the proper way. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope y'all are staying safe, having a good day, drinking plenty of water. Peace, y'all.